Hi everybody, today I'm going to be looking at Personal Shopper by Oliver Assayas. I think I'm pronouncing his last name right. I typed it into Google Translate and that's what it said, so I'm just going with that. Personal Shopper stars Kristen Stewart from Twilight, although we're not going to talk about that anymore. She's moved on. She's not a bad actress. In fact, she's very good in this. Anyway, she plays a girl called Maureen in this, who is a psychic of some sorts, or a medium, should I say. Who also works as a personal shopper for a supermodel. She is also grieving over her dead brother who died of a heart attack. Now, this film, I looked at the back, basically sells itself as a mysterious ghost story. Honestly, it feels like anything but a ghost story. There are elements of that in here, but there's a lot of different plot lines in this that get mixed together. So at one point, she starts getting mysterious texts from an unknown caller. There's murder involved, there's grieving involved, and there's also her job of being a personal shopper. These all mix together in a somewhat confusing manner to create a somewhat confusing film. By the end of it, I was left with no answers, nothing. So, while watching the film, I couldn't really figure out what the actual plot of the film was and kind of struggled for the most part with it. By the end of it, I was left pretty confused and I lost sleep over it because all I could do was think about it. I looked up answers online, see what people thought about the ending, how people sort of translated it, how they interpreted it. And unfortunately, I was left pretty unsatisfied with everyone's interpretation. There's a massive plot point which kind of just gets overlooked by the film itself, and that's one of the points where people think there's a drastic change, or a lot of people make connections to that one point. I'm not going to say what it is, but you'll know it when you see it. The problem is, every time I come up with a theory, I find something to contradict it. The film almost feels like it doesn't know what it's trying to do at times. It kind of jumps from one plot point or one plot line to another. This is going to leave the average film goer pretty confused, underwhelmed, and unsatisfied. For me, I really enjoyed it. The unknown texter is kind of the plot line that had me most intrigued, although I feel like it is kind of almost irrelevant in the grand scheme of things. Well, I find this is definitely a film about grieving. Kristen Stewart's character, Maureen, makes a pact with her brother. Whoever dies first has to try and pass on a message to the other. So she refuses to leave her apartment in Paris, where she is living at the moment, until she gets that sign. When someone asks her, how will she know? She says she'll just know. The film deals with grieving. Now, I feel like that is the main point we're supposed to try and interpret from. But then things happen and you start to think, well, what does grieving have to do with this? What does it have to do with that? And this is where my mind gets a bit boggled at times. This is a film I definitely want to watch again, as I feel like it will definitely require a second viewing. Even describing the plot itself is quite confusing, but I'll have a go. So the first scene, she arrives at a house where her dead brother lived when he was alive. She's trying to contact Lewis in this house, but comes across a different spirit entirely. What does this spirit have to do with the rest of the film? One way you could interpret it is all in her head. She is grieving, so she will be dealing with things in her own unique way. Dealing with the loss of someone can have a huge effect on people, and they have to find a way to deal with it. One interpretation is she has to distract herself from these things, something to keep her busy. Hence why there's all these different plot lines that kind of mix together. But then there's other things which I just can't figure out where it fits in. This is definitely a film I want to watch again at some point. Even though I was confused, I really enjoyed this movie. I'm not as confused as when I finished it. It kind of just abruptly ended. I was left with a lot of unanswered questions, but damn did I just want to think about it more and more after that. I love films like this. It requires a lot of thought and interpretation in order to understand it. It's definitely not for everyone. If you're a film goer who wants answers and needs things explained to them by the end of it, or wants satisfaction from the plot, this definitely isn't going to be for you. You're going to have to sit there and concentrate, even though for a good majority of the film, not much is going to happen. You're going to wonder, where's the plot? What's this film actually about? We're just following her about while she's doing her job and investigating this house. Although I really do want to recommend this to a lot of people, but again, it's not for everyone. I'm going to give this film an 8 out of 10. I'm giving it a lower score because I feel that there is just some confusion about what the story is trying to tell at times. The plot jumps back and forth and some things I just really don't get as to why it's even there. It feels like it contradicts another. At some point I would love to do an analysis on this film, but I feel like I really need to rewatch it again. So thank you for watching, and please keep watching my videos. Hey everybody, I'm back again with personal shit. Personal emotions. I'm back with some personal emotions. This week I'm reviewing myself. Okay.